What's going on, everybody? Welcome into the Bulls Report. I'm your host for today's show, Patrick Seatman. On today's show, we're going to be talking about the Bulls trading for Jaylen Brown. We're going to take a deep dive into this, see this from the Celtics side, the Bulls side, and really figure out where the Bulls need to go, and could Jaylen Brown actually be a possible option? Obviously, last night, the Celtics lost Game 7 to the Miami Heat. Nothing makes me happier seeing the Boston Celtics lose, so that fired me up. But guys, we are in a sub battle right now with our Heat channel. You know, the Heat channel got a lot going in the positive direction. Let's beat them to 2,000 subscribers. We've already had nearly 1,600 people join our Bulls family here. So if you guys are new here, this is the first time coming across our channel, go down there, hit that subscribe button. It's a free, easy way to help us out. And hey, plus, you hit that subscribe button, YouTube's just going to throw you more Bulls content your way. So hit that sub button and help us reach 2,000 subs. But talking about Jaylen Brown, I think it starts here. Jaylen Brown is eligible to sign a 5-year, $295 million extension. You heard that right. A 5-year, $295 million extension. I swear these NBA contracts are getting ridiculous. Also, kind of side note here, Jason Tatum is eligible for a 5-year, $318 million extension. The Celtics have a decision on their hands worth up to $600 million this offseason. But let's take it back. Jaylen Brown, let's just start with the regular season here, and I'll kind of work my way through my thoughts around him just as a whole. Jaylen Brown, regular season, and kind of what he's developed into at 26 years old, he's been fantastic. I mean, just under 27 points a game, averaging 7 boards, solid assist numbers, and then the splits. Obviously, the three-point percentage was actually a lot lower than I thought it was going to be, but still shooting 50% from the field. Then let's kick it to his postseason stats. In 20 games in the postseason, they honestly don't look as bad as you may think, but in the Eastern Conference Finals, that's where we saw him really struggle. But 23 points a game, 5 rebounds, under 4 assists, still shooting pretty solid shooting splits, but the three-point percentage, it is still at 39, but it really dropped off in the Eastern Conference Finals. Before I kind of get into the rest of this, I do still think, obviously kind of stock's low right now on Jaylen Brown. Everybody's kind of dogging the Celtics for losing another home game where they're 11-12 in home games after the past 2 seasons in the NBA playoffs. And I guess like the Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum stock is kind of low right now. But I do still think Jaylen Brown is a great second option on a championship team. I still consider Jaylen Brown a championship and a winning player, mainly because he's done it his whole career. Like, I understand right now we're all going to kind of bury the Boston Celtics, but they have had this kind of championship and winning pedigree ever since the Tatum and Brown duo kind of got together. And I do think Jaylen Brown, probably one of the better sidekicks, one of the better Robins in the NBA. I mean, he's got great size. He can switch 1 through 4. He's still a really solid three-point shooter, and I love his mid-range jump shot. We saw it at the beginning of yesterday's Game 7 game before he really started to struggle. Early in that first quarter, if he gets to a spot, puts the ball on the floor, and just rises up, there's really not much you can do. I got more thoughts on this and a trade idea coming your way in a second, but I'll ask you guys this first. Would you trade for Jaylen Brown? Just straight up, answer it how it is. Would you trade for Jaylen Brown? This will be a pinned comment on today's video. Give me a T for trade or give me a P for pass. So this is the little trade idea I cooked up. Obviously, this depends on Jaylen Brown signing that 5-year, $295 million Supermax extension with the Boston Celtics, and this would be a little sign and trade where the Bulls would give up Zach LaVine and Alex Caruso, and we would be bringing in Jaylen Brown. And I do think if the Bulls would do this, this would start the rebuild, but it wouldn't be a full-on, like a trust the process Philadelphia 76ers rebuild. I think this would be almost like a retool, a revamp type of situation for the Bulls, but I would assume that if they would make this blockbuster trade to go get a guy like Jaylen Brown, you would have to move off DeMar. Probably, I guess you could re-sign Nikola Vucevic, but I think if you bring in Jaylen Brown, he's your centerpiece. He is the guy you are going to build around. Let's throw it back to last night, and this is where Jaylen Brown struggled. I mean, he had one of his worst playoff games I think I've ever seen him play. I mean, 19 points, 8 of 23 from the field, 1 of 9 from 3, and 8 turnovers. And it kind of gets to the point where it's like Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, they can go win you playoff series. They can even take you to Game 6 of the NBA championship. But will those two ever be able to get over the hump? And could the Celtics be like saying like, hey, you know what? Maybe we go bring in a guy like Zach LaVine, just switch up the mojo, switch up the energy, switch up the locker room dynamic, and bring in a guy like Zach LaVine for Jaylen Brown. So why I think the Celtics could possibly say yes to a trade like this, I don't think the Celtics, if they are going to move off of Jaylen Brown, I don't think they're going to want picks or young pieces. Like, I don't think they're going to want, like, Patrick Williams types of players. I think they're going to want proven talent that can win at the highest level. And by no means I'm saying Zach LaVine has proven he can win at the highest level, but I do think his game, the 3-level scorer he is, I think his game will translate to the playoffs. And we've seen it in that play-in game where Zach LaVine damn near got him 40, the Bulls 40 in Toronto. I do think the Celtics, if they're going to move off Jaylen Brown, they're going to want a proven scorer and a proven winner. And I also threw Alex Caruso in that trade. If you talk about a proven winner and just a winning basketball player, this guy's it. I mean, again, this stat sheet, not going to blow you away. I mean, he literally averaged under 6 points a game this past season, 3 assists, 3 rebounds, but just solid shooting splits overall from the field. And honestly, with the thing with Caruso that I love so much is he's proven he can win no matter where he goes. We saw how effective he was in the bubble with the LA Lakers and playing next to strong kind of those 1-2 options. Like, Caruso is probably one of the better role players in the NBA when it comes to just winning championships. And I think he would add some much needed toughness to the Boston Celtics. I still think that the Boston Celtics are one of the softest teams mentally in the NBA. Like, in my opinion, if you look at the Celtics roster, just the whole 15-man, I do believe they have the most talented roster in the NBA. They just need some more dogs in that locker room. They need more Marcus Smarts. They need more guys like that are going to go after Tatum and question him and kind of just not make it so easy for them. And I do think Caruso offers it, one of the better role players in the NBA. So I think the Celtics, you could be like, hey, I'll get a proven scorer, a 3-level scorer in a Zach LaVine, and also a winning piece in Alex Caruso, just another role player, another solid defender to kind of add to that arsenal of Boston weapons. Let's talk about this from the Bulls side of it. I think the Bulls would say yes to this trade too. I think the Bulls want that fresh start. I think the experiment of Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, and Nikola Vucevic, I think it's kind of ran its course. Those three are all tremendous basketball players. They're tremendous talents. But we have already seen, especially, after the Lonzo Ball injury, we've seen the Bulls really struggle the past year and a half following Lonzo going down. It's not looking like Lonzo is going to be possibly ever playing again for the Chicago Bulls. So I do think the Bulls need a fresh start, move off those big three, and then you are receiving a centerpiece, a cornerstone piece that the Bulls can build their new team around. Like, Jaylen Brown is only 26 years old. In this hypothetical sign and trade situation, you would have him until he's 31, 32, where he is entering his prime. Like, I still think Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, both of them, their best basketball is still left to play. But I'll toss it your guys' way. Would you accept this trade? I'll tell you my thoughts here in a second. Give me an A for accept or a D for decline. It would be Zach LaVine heading to Boston with Alex Caruso, and then the Boston Celtics sending back Jaylen Brown in an NBA blockbuster trade. Let me know. Would you do it? A for accept, D for decline if you were the Chicago Bulls. I would do it. I would be actually all in on this trade. Again, it's just the idea of a fresh start for the Chicago Bulls, which it kind of entices me so much with this trade. Like, Jaylen Brown, I think he is a proven winner in the league. He obviously hasn't gotten that ring yet, but Jaylen Brown, I mean, talk about 3-and-D guys. He is the definition about it. Like, those wing 3-and-D guys, he does kind of have that superstar potential also. Like, we've seen him get better and better each and every year. He strikes me as a hard worker, and the thing I love the most about Jaylen Brown, honestly, like, we saw Joe Mazzulla and Jason Tatum kind of act smug in their post-game interviews yesterday. Jaylen Brown just kind of took it on the chest. Jaylen Brown said, I played bad. Jason Tatum got hurt in the first quarter, and I needed to step up. And he admitted he did not do that. That's why I kind of like the self-awareness and just kind of taking it on the chin that Jaylen Brown did yesterday. I'll be all in. Jaylen Brown for Zach LaVine and Alex Caruso. I would love that trade. Kind of give the Bulls the fresh start that they need. If you guys made it to the end of the video, thank you guys so much. Give me a C red down in the comments section. We've been doing this at the end of each video. I get to kind of know who the real ones are that stick around and watch the entire thing. So give me a C red down in the comment section. We'll see you guys next time. Go Bulls.